Etsy sellers, welcome back to my channel, and a bit of good news today. Etsy looks like it's giving us all the opportunity to use up to 20 photos in our listings. So as soon as this came out, I realized that people are going to have questions around the algorithm, around using them. So I thought I'd get this timely video out to deal with these questions. So the first thing, and I know loads of people want to know this, does this affect the Etsy algorithm? Meaning, if you decide, right, well, I'm going to fill up all 20 photo slots, is this going to boost my listing? Am I going to rank higher? Is Etsy going to favor me? The answer is directly no. The algorithm is not going to favor you because you put 15, 20 photos in your listing. Indirectly, it may help you sell more, because if you add value in your photo slots, and I'm going to get to this in a minute, this is the bit that really matters, the value you give in your photos, and that dictates how many photo slots you should use. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But even though directly it will have no effect on the algorithm whatsoever, as in the number of photos you put in influencing your visibility, indirectly it might do. Because if you've got a product that needs explaining, right, and we only had 10 photo slots before, and you were struggling because you know you need to add more value and give the customer more reasons to buy, indirectly it might help you sell more, which raises your visibility. Right? But directly, no, there's no change directly on the algorithm here. Okay, so now the second thing, this is the one that matters, should you use them? Okay, and I know loads of people are confused about this, but it is actually really simple. You should only use the number of photo slots that continuously add value for your listing. Okay, so what I mean by that is, if 5 photos is what it takes to completely give your potential customer all the value proposition of your product, and then the 6th photo doesn't add value, or the 7th, or the 8th, it's 5 you should use. If it takes 8 to fully visually explain your product value proposition to your customer, it's 8. Because what we don't want to do is have extra photos for the sake of there being extra photos and mistakenly thinking that this is going to help the algorithm. It won't. If it takes 15, do 15. If it takes all 20, do all 20. But you've got to go over every single photo and really ask yourself, does this image add value to the chances of the customer buying? If the answer is yes, put it in. If it's not, don't do it. One of the biggest culprits here is repetition of images, especially in print on demand. Don't just keep repeating images just to fill the slots. It doesn't help the customer purchase. Every single photo has to help convince the customer to buy from you, right? So just use as many photos as is needed. Most people don't need to use over 10 photos. They don't. Overwhelmingly, they don't, right? The main use case for people that do need to use the extras is variations. So of course, when you've got more variations, then you can put these variations into your photo slots and help add more value to the customer. So variations is a big one. And here's another use case that I would consider when deciding how many photo slots to use. Remember your product descriptions, right? So what you write about your products. It's well known that customers don't read down your Etsy product description. They might read a paragraph or 2, maybe 3 if you're lucky, but they're not getting down into the details. So you can take some of that weight, that text weight of descriptions that nobody reads, and you can add it visually in the form of simple infographics, as an example. I've long been a proponent of using your photo slots to do 90% of the selling. Product descriptions should never ever be used to sell anything. They're just to mop up all the questions, the queries, the details that customers want to know, right? So where we can use infographics to improve the value proposition of what we're selling, that takes the weight out of the description and presents it in a nice, easily digestible visual format. An infographic, by the way, is 4, 5, 6 points highlighting benefits of your product to a customer. Easy to digest, the customer's in a visual frame of mind because they're looking at your photo slots and they're not reading lumpy, long text. It's a different way of explaining. So that's another use case. And where appropriate, we should all be using infographics, explaining visually in an appealing way the benefits of our product. So for me, this is a good move by Etsy. This is a good move. It will be a welcome move for some Etsy sellers. I've looked in the forum, I've looked on Reddit. Lots of people are moaning about it, saying, how am I going to fill them? Oh, I'm not going to use them. No, don't. You don't have to. Most of you will not use these extra spaces, but I know some of you will. So what I want to know is get into my comments and tell me, are you going to use these extra slots? Does this matter to you? And I want to know if you are using them, the extra slots, what are you using them for? Tell me what your value proposition is, why you're using these extra slots. Okay? And as always, if you want to work with me, don't wait, don't guess. The Book In Now button for my Etsy Academy is coming up on your screen. This takes you to an About page for my Academy. There's a video there. Watch it. This is for all of you who want to work with me for the lowest possible monthly cost. The video explains everything. It's group learning, private coaching. We've got a lovely community in there, and I'd love to see you there. Look forward to catching you in the comments and catching you in the Academy. Cheers.